Good morning, Willie. Good morning, Grizzle. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so today is February 12th. It's about 32 degrees out. Everything's still a little frozen this morning. First thing we're gonna do is just start the skid steer, let it warm up before we feed. So what I'm doing now is I'm just pushing them out of the feed alleys. There's two of them for the milk cows where they eat here. And I'm just gonna scrape real quick. So in our barns, we use a hot wire on the two gates where we scrape out of into the pit here. And it works very well. And it also helps keep the cows in shape, as you would call it, for when it's time to graze, because they do respect the hot wire. Okay, as you guys can see, we got all the alleyways nice and clean for the cows. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start feeding. And like I said, I just scraped where the cows eat for now. And then as I feed, they should get up out of bed and move themselves over. Saves me pushing them around, so. Feeding the babies right now. Okay, while I'm feeding the cows, Laura's feeding the calves with some help of Willie Brown here.
Of course.
One of the new babies. How old's that baby, Laura?
This guy's probably 4 days old.
4 days old. Little Jersey. All the babies. Laura's custom calf cart. Everyone's happy. Dad's gonna start feeding. Well, as you can tell, the cows look pretty happy. So we fed 2 bales of alfalfa to the cows. Right now we're milking about 130 cows. Yeah, it spreads out pretty even. It's a pretty good amount. We're also going to feed 1 bale of silage as well. Yes, everyone looks happy. And yes, we just use a skid steer and a pair of forks to feed out the hay every day. Yeah, we don't have a mixer wagon or anything fancy like that, so pretty simple around here. This is a bale of our silage that we make in-house. Pretty dark, as you can tell. When we go to wrap, we generally try to go for about 60% moisture. So I'll take this net wrap off.
Since we have 2 forks, if you try to get the one on the inside, on my right, the fork, if you just try to get it to the left of the inside of the middle, you will be able to unroll the bale using the forks. And then from there, I just give it some taps. And then from there, I'll just move it around. It's only 1 bale, so it's not enough to feed out the whole side bunk. It's just more of a preference thing for the cows if they want some wet feed versus some dry feed.
Okay, well, I got the free stalls clean where the cows sleep on the one side. Now I've got to do the other side. And like I said, I go back at the end and put straw down because sometimes when you scrape with a tractor, you get little stuff like that up on the mats. So you just want to be, I try to be cleaner, so I wait till the end and then I can make it perfect, so. Yes, unfortunately we do have a few broken ones in here. We had a welder come out a couple weeks ago and we did fix a few of them, but it's just hard when the cows are in the barn. finished all the beds. And here's what I'll show you guys. Just a piece of baling twine with mad respect. They just don't try it. That's just, I think, how you want your cows. Okay, we just finished putting straw in all the beds, and the cows are gonna lounge for a little while. Today is a noon milking for us. For some of you guys that are traditional dairies, we only milk at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. one day, and then the next day we milk at noon. We call it every 16 hours. It's not quite 16 hours. Being a grazing dairy and our cows are always out on pasture, this works out really good for us, and we like it. It gives us a little more free time, and we just don't see it being worth milking twice a day, every day, when you can only feed grass and alfalfa. So even though we have no automatic scrapers or fancy stuff, everything is manual. Pretty much, you know, feed with forks on the skid steer, no mixing wagon, no mixer truck, no automatic scrapers or anything. It still only takes probably, I don't know, an hour and a half at the most to feed the cows and scrape. And if you're really having a good day, then you can scrape the dry cows and the heifers in probably 2 hours. So even though it is old school, it's still feasible. It's just more work, but in the end, I think it pays to have, you know, some old school stuff or old school techniques, because then you're not relying on chains and technology and computers, and you know, everything's simplified. So it's not as overwhelming for a beginner farmer. It's not overwhelming for a young farmer to keep everything going. This is one of our fresh heifers. She's got a pretty good udder on her. So these are our hospital string, we call them. They could be in this string for a variety of reasons, whether it's mastitis or they just freshen, and you know, for whatever reason their somatic cell count is just a little high. So we keep them separate. They're in their separate little area, with their separate little feed bunks, with their separate minerals, just everything's separate.